That's true. Map number 1. Both these teams went the distance but didn't take a win. This time they're changing their fate. They got to get the victory to make it to group stage or for the playoffs. We'll see how it goes.
I love it when it's a clear-cut victory condition, Lemon. Win the series and you're into playoffs.
Keep it simple for us, okay? We're not very good at math.
High IQ individuals.
Well, it doesn't take a high IQ to ban 2 Elsas, so what else is next?
All right. Zooming in onto the Mantis. Seems like ALTR Esports aren't as bothered about the Gambit, but Team Peps, they're more than happy to try and take the Gambit, I imagine. But at least taking it away first. And you know what? Never mind. Mantis for Mantis. This is going to be all about juicing up our avatar. Our one duelist. Everyone is just going to focus in. Maybe it's going to be a Whoops versus Pink kind of matchup here. I wouldn't mind seeing Pink back on that Daredevil.
Yeah, Burning T'Challa is very, very open, so as a group player, probably not going to have too much of a fun time. I'm looking at you, I am okay. You're going to have to find something else. But also, you need a strong poke phase, because when you have a very open map, you want to keep your distance. So this is where 6, I think, can really come alive for Team Peps. And he's been great on the Phoenix, but what else is going to be on the menu? Kind of a very, very similar bans, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of focus in on the Gambit Loki, getting rid of the Elsa. The first protect here will be telling, though, from Team Peps. Do they want to maybe keep the Vanguard Deadpool? Do they want to keep the Invis? We even see White Fox protect here today. I wouldn't mind seeing a Daredevil either. Okay, Vanguard Deadpool's where they're going to focus in for this one, just making sure that's available for IMLK as that pivot off the Groot.
And no Jeff to accompany that Venom, but Whoops and this ALTR Esports team rarely have Elsa banned against them. People don't see Whoops as a threat, and he's been able to kind of disrespect other teams as he's been able to flex to other duelists. But the final lock-in here for ALTR is they hope to have that Vanguard Deadpool part of their equation.
Surprised we haven't seen Ultron come up yet. It seems like there was the micro meta for about 2 days here in EMEA where Ultron and Mantis together for that double damage boost was where a lot of teams were finding success. Invis Woman going to be taken off the board, but this does mean there's the capacity for ALTR Esports to play a double team up Jeff if they would like, but with Team Captain currently hovering over Captain America, that doesn't seem to be on the cards.
And the Invisible Woman, or the Invisible Boundary, is so good at really excluding the ranged duelists like Phoenix from being part of the fight, and then you're forced to play more forward, and even the vulnerable strategists have to step forward to at least try to ideally have vision on the people that they're healing. So I'm wondering how much that lack of Invisible Woman is going to keep things nice and open, and mainly that you can see everybody that you're trying to shoot and heal.
Well, Ultron may not have appeared in the ban phase, but certainly is appearing in the game itself. Drones are going to be placed onto the avatars, you know. Pink versus Whoops. We've got to set these guys up to go up against each other with maximum support behind them.
6 is going to be on the Ultron. All eggs in the pink basket, so to say. And Team Peps will be on Stellar Spaceport, and this is a very open map where there is very much a lack of cover. So it's going to be important to dance around a shield, but I'm thinking Frankie Boxing wants to Frankie Portal somewhere between ALTR Esports.
Yeah, this will give them an advantage in tempo for the first fight, which is very important considering they're going to be low on it when going up against that Captain America. Rolling out first. Seems like the speed is good right now. The Exo just doesn't stop and turn, just continues skating on by. And now ALTR Esports, they are going to be playing a flipped map with Team Peps wrapping around behind them. And this is a major resource that's going to be gone. Team Captain's already starting to work that off angle and develop some space for a flank.
Yeah, waiting for these walls to come up around the point, because that's going to be the main time you actually want to play out in the open like this. You're going to have some protection, some anchoring from Peps, and ALTR Esports, okay, they are going to contest at the last second. Thank goodness for Z-Cube, as Team Captain is probably going to find some pathing behind the strategist.
Great accuracy from IMLK. Already has access to the Banhammer, but who do you want to put it on? Get a quick upgrade onto it for now. This is going to be IMLK, who maybe strikes first. No, it's Z-Cube on the other side. Don't know if anyone's really going to be a victim of that one. A quick exit from the underground as both of our strategist lines do find themselves in these comfortable little cubbies, and Team Captain going to have to get back to the healing, but it's not going to be Hatro's healing. Pink's already managed to find the opening pick you were talking about. A double dark Maelstrom, Whoops and Z-Cube both down. ALTR Esports, they've just been out damaged by Team Peps.
And Team Captain's doing good pressure for ALTR, but he's the only one doing it. He can't do it all himself. I know he's the captain and he's Captain America, but he needs an American team question mark around him. And maybe a Daredevil substitution would be nice, but Whoops needs to try and match the range DPS that Pink has been able to put out. You already notice it in the ult charge. 30% ahead is Pink with the End Song Inferno.
Camp going into the backline does mean that the ZQ doesn't have quite as much support in the front line, and so much of this damage can be pelted into him. It feels like right now ALTR Esports Vanguards are having trouble really taking their space when Frankie Boxing just brings up that shield behind them and cuts off all the healing.
This is why cohesion is so important on domination. You can't start your flanking pathing when the enemy has nobody else to look at. So Team Captain needs to sandwich this and find pathing while his team are actually pushing up. But a lot of good ultimates here. Soul Resurgence, just to get them out of this door would be ideal for ALTR Esports. And oh, what a clap!
Okay, and also with the changes to Lona, that is going to reduce the healing of the Ice Arts as well. In comes the Eye of Agamotto, easily shielded out there by Team Captain because souls aren't separated from bodies. There's no final hit to be found off the back of Pink's End Song Inferno. Pink now falling low in their own right. Monarch getting a little bit busy with it as the Soul Resurgence is drawn out from the side of Team Caps. Protoss brings the team forward with that additional movement speed before backing off into a safer position to make sure Pink's in this area just keeps sniping on down. A Mag Cannon goes awry, but ZQ still has the accuracy. A swap over onto a Magneto to make sure that there is going to be that front line that was lacking previously. It's difficult to take out 6 while they're up here sniping, but Frankie Boxing can't angle the shield in the right direction. Whoops' off angle is absolutely brutal to behold, and while it will be 92 or maybe even a touch more percent, this is a flip for ALTR.
ALTR used so many ultimates just to finally get back into the stellar spaceport, but I fear the ship has left the station. 93% is no joke. Nobody is laughing from the ALTR Esports side, and the Meteor M, it needs a lot of damage to go in to actually pack a punch, so Team Peps just need a convincing fight win to have a convincing round 1 finish.
Team Captain rocking the wolf cap skin. Big fan of this one. Just continuously presenting this threat. Maybe going to try and isolate the Mantis. Jumping away. Nice dodge on the sedation. Perfectly played from the captain so far. But will there be enough reinforcement for him here? Has already got the bubble. The healing can't come through. A touch greedy there from Team Captain and a nice Mag Cannon as well. Great management from the Magneto to keep him in the danger zone. Baby Bat's in danger. Can they get away? They want Protoss instead. You know what? If you're going to become invisible, I'll just take out your friend instead. Great play from Whoops, and wants even more. 6 is going to be exposed, gives himself a little bit of overhealth thanks to the imperative patch, and IMLK is now here to alleviate the pressure. It's still a lot of pressure on the point, so one needs to come on here and keep this one contested. You can't allow for Team Peps to cap this one for free, and so it's an exchange of strategist ultimates to make it happen.
This has been becoming an arena thanks to that Invisible Woman ult, which may affect why Team Captain isn't getting as much range heals as he would like now that that's banned. End Song Inferno to end this once and for all.
Oh, he's getting a little bit silly with it up there, but actually gets him with the aura off for Deadpool in your area. A rare frag feed to see, but IMLK is making sure that even the respawns are having a bad time returning to this point. Team Peps are now in control. 6 hovers above it. All outcomes the fate of both worlds. That's going to be a bunch of healing. Unsustainable, maybe, for Team Peps, but Protoss disagrees. Rolling forward with their own Soul Resurgence. The extra movement speed means the Magneto in particular can get a lot more dangerous. And here comes the Rage of Ultron. Nothing to heal up Team Captain. A bunch of that healing is actually absorbed by Frankie Boxing, trying to place the other Magneto into an untenable position. Can bring up the shield behind them, try and block off some of the heals. Look at the angle here from IMLK. Frankie Boxing is doing a great job of protecting the entries, and there are the shields. There's nothing for ZQ. Even the body blocks on the healing as well mean there's nothing to sustain that Vanguard.
Speaking of Vanguards, it feels like ALTR Esports just never had the cooldowns to maintain the space, especially in a desperation scenario where you quite literally have to make a 0 to 100 comeback. Not having that Invisible Woman, just to follow through on what I was saying, you can't really just throw that distant shield to your Captain America, who is in desperate need of some TLC. It's very hard to access Team Captain. I like that he eventually went to the Deadpool, but then you're kind of starting from scratch. You have to level up, and you're then just getting gapped by IMLK, who was there from the start, and looking at the difference of damage. Okay, Pink and Whoops are actually pretty competitive amongst each other. It's maybe the difference of final hits. And then you look at the Mantis as the Mantis-eyes, I don't know, but plural. Mantises, that's the one. We'll iterate on that. As the secondary point of damage, and even Proto and Monarch are very close together. So I'm thinking it's about coordination from Team Peps, and you had ALTR on the back foot with swaps. We're now on Warrior Falls. You're going to have, again, another ranged poke phase at this central point, but who will rotate to the point first? Team Peps already want to take it to the falls.
For now, Hatra is playing this very trepidatiously. Doesn't want to expose themselves too early, knowing that they have been a primary target in the times past. But IMLK just ready to stand on business on the point for now. Whoop's going to develop this angle. Pink actually has the high ground right now, which might be a bit of a difference maker. And already damage boost has been given over by the Ultron onto Pink over there. ZQ has to be careful as the shield is brought up behind them to try and cut off some of that healing. And in comes the Ensong Inferno. Pink ready to strike already. There is no damage boost on it for now, so Exo's not going to be taken down in one shot. But as they back off, it means that ZQ can't stand on the space. Exo's going to stand on business for themselves, though. Out comes the Banhammer right on top of the Ultron. But it seems that inside of the invisible boundary, they don't really have to worry about the damage. A first cap here for Team Peps. This is going to be a re-engage with the Ensong Inferno. They want Protoss real bad, and the extra explosion from the Spark is enough to one-tap the Mantis.
Yeah, ALTR need to just fire on all cylinders. They can't afford to let Team Peps get another 99% start. They've already given up the cap first, and it needs to be a clean sweep. And now that Frankie's missing, ALTR don't have any safe space to be on.
Okay, let's check in on the ults here. It's going to be ZQ with access to the meter M. The portal's opened, but I think this one's already
No one's home?
Yeah. You know what? Never mind.
Wow.
I knocked, but you're in the shower.
Yeah, and the fact that you have a one-sided invisible woman, I can't stress enough that Baby Bat can put up the shield on their own backline to prevent damage and a lot of pressure onto people like Proto and Six. So ALTR having to invest a lot more, and Frankie, he's boxed all right.
Oh man, to be able to go down to that poke early is that's a little bit of a filter, I'm not gonna lie. When you're a Vanguard, like, what is everyone looking at but not me? Six buys the space with the Rage of Ultron, of course, exchanging out with Hatra. Frankie boxing, getting aggressive, starts to eat up the heals. Are they gonna just try and exchange this one? Oh, I'm simply better, says Frankie. A little bit of a Meteor M div, perhaps, as ZQ just cannot get any sustain as all of the heals are eaten on up. Whoop's now caught in a bad position, but overextending to try and heal for them might be a fatal flaw here. ALTR Esports lose control of the point. Monarch needs to try and escape. There's no way for Hatchro to go, and Frankie Boxing's having himself a time on the mag.
And it's, yeah, ALTR, it was a late fate of both. The sleep stagger. Oh no, not like this. The Monarch back to the cocoon and back to the spawn room. Precious seconds. Team Peps now in the lead as a result. And again, I feel like the Vanguards from Frankie and IMLK have stepped up to the occasion. But Whoops trying to do his best to get Team Peps low and on the back foot. But the healing has just been next level from Team Peps. ALTR need a pick in their favor. And if, you know, the ults go awry, you need to salvage. Baby Bat is accessible here.
Oh, Protoss already gone down, but in this tight area, that's where the Ensong Inferno could do a bunch of damage, and Whoops found that out the hard way. Now everyone else has to try and make it work off the back of a Soul Resurgence. Perhaps an isolation here onto Pink. That one could be an easy pickup for the remainder of ALTR Esport, and with Team Peps potentially overextending themselves, not able to use either of their strategist ultimates, they're going to lose control of the point.
Yeah, Team Peps getting a little too greedy, a little too confident. It's kind of an awkward corner, right? Because then your strategists still need to keep some kind of line of sight, and an invisible woman doesn't have infinite healing range, so needs to be as close as they can. ALTR Esports identified that weakness, that mistake, and punished that error. Now ALTR Esports need to defend like their lives depend on it, because also depends when that portal is on cooldown. ALTR Esports used it, and speaking of, we got the Banhammer.
Oh, Whoops has already got one, and Six fell down as well. Every single strategist from Peps just disintegrates in the Alpha Strike. They did end up using the Soul Resurgence, but still have that invisible boundary for later, and there's not much to really penetrate through it apart from ZQ.
ALTR Esports back on their own 2 feet, taking the early fights and the initiative that catches Team Peps off guard. This is going to be the fight to rule them all, to see if we're going into round 3 or not.
Round 3 on the horizon. The Rage of Ultron popped a little bit prematurely. Easy to dodge here from Peps. That's going to be an almost entirely wasted ultimate. Apart from the damage on IMLK, they aren't able to save him in time. The invisible boundary was a touch too greedy there from Baby Bat. She could not rescue the Vanguard. Up to the sky goes the Meteor M. It doesn't seem to have done too much as Frankie Boxing has exchanged his own as well. And now Team Peps with only a singular Vanguard are going to have to put all of their healing into Frankie Boxing. Pink needs to find an angle. Find an opening somehow. Hutro falling low might be the answer here, and Whoops has an almost inattackable position. He's so well defended up on the high ground. A big push onto Z-Cube, slowly magnetically levitates back down to Terra Firma, and IMLK has finally returned. Can't afford to fall again as Whoops building up towards that Endsong Inferno. There are so many sparks. Frankie Boxing's down. IMLK can't get on in time. We're going to round number 3.
Frankie on an island had the attention of the whole squad. How did he not fall earlier than that? Man, Team Peps were so close to making this in 2, but ALTR Esports, they got back on the wagon and they kept sailing. So I love to see that. We now go to the final point, the Imperial Institute of Science. This is as open as it gets. Of course, you have that hole right in the middle as a stall tactic. There is some perimeter play you could do, some small platforms for high grounds. Expect those Phoenixes to be up there. I'm not going to try. But the ult advantage for ALTR Esports is what I'm looking at, that Soul Resurgence. ALTR have lost the first fight every point thus far, and having to play from such a deficit, to play a retake against triple strategist has proven to be such a challenge. I need ALTR Esports to come out strong.
Frankie Boxing. It's time for some more shenanigans. And with this team up as well, it can be very easy to pull people well out of position the second you get a fully... Oh, they're going through a doorway. This is the ideal split. Yep, when you go through a narrow doorway, it's just entirely cut off. You can see that the answer here is going to be the Soul Resurgence, but Exo can't even get line of sight. They get rid of Monarch as well. Midway through the ultimate. Oh, ALTR Esports, they finally had an ult advantage.
Well, some people can't. Actually, nobody could get through the portal. It's you have to be this high to get through the portal.
First cap still?
Oh, that's a blunder from Frankie. No one could get through the portal. It was too tall.
It's just a little bit too difficult. Okay, and now we've got some respawns coming through as well. It's going to get very aggressive here. I believe it's Team Captain actually uses for final exam. A rarity for a Vanguard Deadpool, but wanted for sustainability. Moving in towards the Ultron. They want to blow him up, but instead they'll grab Monarch on the other side. That means Exo has to go all cylinders firing. On the dance floor, ready to boogie. But our Team Pep's going to be a tango partner here. Is it going to be Frankie Boxing finishing all of this? A great big dark power is unleashed from the bowels of Frankie. Happens to me sometimes after I eat a curry. And Woods is going to go down as well. I instantly regret that one. And Team Peps, they're not regretting their investment.
I think Frankie regrets that portal at least, as I tried to give myself dementia from what you just said. But hey, that was a pretty big Eye of Agamotto right in the middle of ALTR Esports as that Fate of Both Worlds expired. Now expect ALTR Esports to fire on all cylinders, namely after with that Rage of Ultron. And what a quick retake for Team Peps. I mean, ALTR needed to extend that much longer than they did.
Frankie Boxing standing on business with a shield of a Seraphim. Wants to get into a more aggressive position, I imagine. Look at Z-Tube here with the extra damage. It could be everything. Gonna block out a bunch of the... Oh, that's a very charged Meteor M in towards the backline. I think it must have been shielded there by Baby Bat. There's no way that didn't do enough damage when it was eating up so much Rage of Ultron healing. Z-Cube was slowed, shielded off. Frankie Boxing. The ebb and flow of this guy is absolutely unmatched right now.
Yeah, nuclear bomb versus coughing baby moment from courtesy of Frankie Boxing. He's been charged up and bursting down ALTR Esports. There's gotta be more punish into a Doctor Strange living in your minds rent-free and also within 6 people feeling rent-free. And now Pink has the Endsong Inferno, maybe looking for an angle as Frankie Boxing is gonna try and deny this platform, maybe give it to Pink, but he's not gonna want to test those limits.
All right, already 6, just gonna stop firing. Skill issue is definitely not going to be that much of an issue here as the ban habit doesn't get too much in the way of value. And Team Peps, like, they have been getting so much value off of this Doctor Strange. And it seems like it's kind of ascendant in EMEA overall. We saw Black So over on Fire Strays able to make use of his team up as well. He's Doctor Strange back.
And we're back on camera as a player has called for a pause, in case you're wondering. You're not missing any of the action, but 72% in favor of Peps versus the 35-point in control for Peps. So that's what we're going to be jumping right back into the middle of action here in a second. And that big win condition we talked about of the end song Inferno from Pink just got picked off as this pause got called. So I believe it'll be a 6v5 for ALTR Esports once we do resume. So it's important to retake as soon as possible, because I don't think ALTR can pull off another 0 to 100.
It would be unlikely. Like, the probability's not in their favor. Frankie Box almost has an Eye of Agamotto as well coming into this next fight, and there's no strategist ultimate to try and counter it. So it'd have to be dealt with either via a CC midway through the cast, a well-timed shield from Z Cube or Team Captain, which is unlikely from Team Captain because obviously the Magical Unicorn shield is entirely ground-born, usually going to be coming from the sky with the Eye of Agamotto, or a stun. And there are a couple of options for that. We've got the Absolute Zero from Exo, we've got the right click from the Phoenix of Whoops, and of course the mid-air sedation from Monarch. It's difficult to hit, but hey, if anyone can, Monarch has been very impressive so far.
And we're ready to get back into the game as IMLK asks, what are you aiming at? We're about to find out, because he just popped the Banhammer, I believe. So let's see who will take map number 1.
All right, 6 minutes to survive this one so far. Patro under siege here from IMLK, who overextends just a touch and finds out that those strategists actually have hands. Damn, I don't want to fight those strategists again. Big space claim here coming through. See that Frankie Boxing's already used their Cloak of Levitation, so they're a little bit lower on options when it comes to what they're going to do with their Eye of Agamotto. Just going to wait for that one to come off cooldown as Whoops wraps around the backhand side. Frankie Boxing falling low. A nice shot there as well. ALTR Esports, they are going to be able to flip this, but Team Peps didn't invest that much.
And ALTR have to flip their chances in this map because it's looking grim. It's going to take perfection out of them, and Whoops for an end song to end all songs, I guess. And a soul resurgence. I want to see confidence. I want to see a ALTR really pack a punch as Frankie looks to get in position. He won't be able to use that top platform to maybe hop into the action with an Eye of Agamotto, as ALTR now have to spot Team Peps taking an alternative path towards the right side and controlling the choke so well, I should say, from ALTR.
And when you're grouped up going through these chokes as well, you're catching so much damage from the spark build of the Phoenixes. That's where you generally are going to see the spread get a little bit wider here. As the wrap from the back. Whoops has been found on the way through. Protoss just going to stop firing as the Banhammer hits yet again. In comes the strike onto Protoss, but Pink is being a little bit more judicious with their own. Still, there's enough healing to try and deal with this one. No one falls from a pair of Endsong Inferni. You can see that ALTR Esports have actually given up a huge amount of space here. Their team is so split up. It needs to be huge from Z-Cube, but it's just into a shield. Frankie Boxing continues to be just that guy, and while there is going to be a fate of both worlds to try and drive the rest of the team forward, they're low on damage, really. Hatro inside of the Unicorn shield couldn't receive healing from the Luna at 98%. It has to be a team captain TP back.
See if the portal gets there on time. Overtime about to go away. ALTR do emerge, and with Jeff to try and be as elusive as possible. They have IMLK isolated. Frankie's in trouble too.
Whoops has come out on the Daredevil as well. Just a last chance saloon for Jeff. For Landshark is everything. ALTR Esports, they've sent the kitchen sink after this one, but a triple stack back here is very difficult to try and penetrate into if you are the Daredevil. A quick flip. Oh no, Team Peps, their objective discipline once again has failed them. And while Whoops may well find himself overextended to try and make the most of this one, it's all going to come down to Frankie Boxing to keep themselves on this point. Exo on the edge is going to be able to blast out with this hit scan power. Team Peps, they are now have to madly scramble to get onto a point. This was supposed to be their fight to win, but here comes ALTR Esports after a mad scramble. Team Captain in towards the back. Farewell to Protoss, I imagine. Another dark blast. Frankie Boxing on the other side. Monarch goes down, yes, midway through their ultimate. Pink takes to the skies, says that this one isn't over yet. I believe that it might well have been intercepted, possibly by the Daredevil. Mid-air means that most of the team aren't taking all of that damage. A quick back off. The Soul Link is up, and Baby Bat draws up their own ultimate as well. The invisible boundary, and Exo's down too. Harsha can't do anything after eating up 2. There's going to be a quick self-resurrection, the Cocooned revival, but Exo is still only 82% towards this one. Whoops nearly has the ability to let the devil out. There's not really going to be much healing behind them. Only Monarch who returned on the Rocket Raccoon, hoping maybe that the BRB can be clutch here to bring back Z-Cube, and indeed it is, but he's going to be standing alone. There's no help to be seen. Team Peps stand right here. They stand ready to claim their victory. IMLK sends out the skill issue, and indeed it's a Banhammer on the Vanguard. ALTR Alter Esports are banned from the map, and Team Peps take Bin into T'Challa.
Oh, they tried to alter their fate, man. What a resurgence through the portal. That was winnable. They separated the Peps' Vanguard line, but they reestablished. That could have been anyone's fight at the end. Peps as clutch as ever, yes. I mean, it takes only a pair of eyes to see that Frankie was the obvious MVP of this match. A 30 bomb from a Doctor Strange, putting up Elsa numbers, 15 final hits too. He finishes off what he started. So many critical Eye of Agamotto's, the block on the Meteor M from ZQ, and the way he's able to stun up some of these strategists from Alter Esports. Frankie, he's not just the Angela guy, he's also a doctor.
I mean, yeah, like Frankie Glaze session, to be honest, it's been a crazy one. Like Frankie boxing, also feeling like a Magneto in the front line, to be honest. Like, I don't think Frankie was really punished enough for the aggressive positioning he was taking, but that's kind of the risky run when you have this triple strategist, right? Your damage output's going to be a little bit lower, so that 700 HP shield of a Doctor Strange feels a little bit more difficult to break through, and you can stand there in front of your Vanguards and just say, you know what, actually Team Captain doesn't get any healing. I've made the executive decision, so you can stand there and try and break my shield while my team break your Vanguards.
Just the strat line from Team Peps went absolutely crazy. Frankie boxing, living as long as he did on domination with all the help in the world. And I gotta say, compositionally, it made a difference to have that invisible woman to be able to push away any ultimates coming their way, to be able to defend themselves, to just have that shield as another layer to try and scratch through to access 6 Proto and Baby Bat at the back. So very big fan of Team Peps' pick and ban, which made things a lot easier to support Frankie boxing, who often had to frontline while IMLK cycled in and out with them.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on your Baby Bat enjoyment here. I think that the Invisible One was a great pickup, especially for keeping 6 up on that Ultron. I think that 6 had a fairly easy time surviving on the Ultron in the middle of big fights compared to Hatro, who did fall less in terms of like the raw numbers. But I think that 6, when they were getting stuck in and putting themselves in more dangerous positions because that guardianship was coming through from Baby Bat, was able to do a little bit more. We'll see if Alter Esports can strike back here, as they will get to choose our map after this break.
Clear the way! Feel the pull! Disappear!
Well, you might not be showing the Angela play that we were kind of expecting, Frankie Boxing, but you know all the ultimate realities and possibilities to get the victory and found the one that you needed all the way down to the wire to the final point on Burnin T'Challa, just like we saw them play on it previously. And now Peps, even after the disconnect, still able to connect in and get the win here. And Lemon, I mean, it felt like two different sides between these two teams. One where ALTR Esports were like clawing tooth and nail, trying to just keep their head above water, eventually getting a win here and there, and then unfortunately falling back. And more so on the side of Peps, that there's just standout performances left and right from every individual player on that team.
Yeah, I think the Invisible Woman is able to output so much heal for the Vanguard line of Team Peps, and I really started to worry if ALTR Esports had a shot in this whole map, the way that Stellar Spaceport just went so in favor of the Vanguard line of Team Peps in terms of how they're able to control the space. And it did come out to some swaps from Team Captain, going from the Captain America to something else, just anything where he could play around the team. I think he put it so much on himself as a metaphorical, maybe actual team captain to make all the plays happen when it really needed to be a team effort. I think that's why ALTR Esports were almost able to rob this map at the end, but Team Peps clutched.
It's a tough spot to be in leg day for this team of ALTR Esports, because again, both teams had very similar play styles and also standout performances from their duelists. I mean, Whoops, we saw really good in terms of getting the final hits, confirming things, but maybe favored a little bit more towards the Daredevil at the end. But Pink really was the standout, having the damage boost from the Mantis and the Ultron drones onto the Phoenix seems to just be a difference maker for this Peps team.
Yeah, like Pink was just able to sit in Narnia and aim. I think there's actually a very telling moment for our observers caught in the penultimate fight, where we saw the double-pocketed Whoops go around the back, try and get an angle on the team as they were making their way in on the side of Peps. And we saw, I believe, IMOK intercept that one using their Deadpool in your area aura. And you can take that 1v1, even against the double-pocketed Phoenix as the Deadpool, if you're like that close up to begin with. And that meant that either Whoops fell down or had to back off and waste all of the resources that were put into that flank.
Wow.
So to a degree, like Team Peps, they kind of com-diffed that last fight.
I'm actually surprised on this map, just kind of shifting gears here for a moment as well. So this is the first time we've seen this from either team, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, Convoy for Peps, we typically saw Museum of Contemplation. We saw some Midtown and Morocco, ALTR Esports. We saw Museum twice, Midtown and Spider Islands. We still have not seen Convergence once from Peps, and they're probably happy to keep it with Convoy because that's their game mode, it feels like.
Going to be strong for the group players, so I'm sure IMLK may enjoy doing that again. But also, this is a good map for, again, the mechanical duelists, the ones at range, the Phoenix, and maybe even the Elsa if she squeezed through the pick ban. But just like we saw in the last series, the Elsas can be the ones that really carry this map.
The big eye, the spotlight is going to be on ALTR Esports, because if they drop this series, they drop out of the playoff contention into that 5th place of Group A. So all the marbles on the line for Peps, so they can lock this in 2-0 sweep and feel that much more confident going into playoffs, especially a great makeup series after the one we saw from them yesterday leg day.
Yeah, like I think the Team Peps, they kind of need this bounce back, you know, like, man, I need this.
Well, we need to see this one go down to the wire again. We had such intense matchups for our first maps of the day. Let's get into it.
All right, how are we going to start our bans again? Yep, as expected, Lemon, Elsa's gone.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of the Phoenix, but also that first point can be close enough where the Daredevil dive could be as strong, and I know that's been Pink's a strong suit, but is also becoming more of the Phoenix main for this team, while Six takes sometimes a back seat to the Ultron, but it's honestly a seat in the sky too, because Six ends up being kind of like a pseudo duelist in that regard. But the protect on the Mantis, that's what Peps now have to think about. Oh, I guess even mirroring.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think the last game was enough of a blowout for you to necessarily change your whole strategy. I think that ALTR Esports might just need a little bit more clarity on their Vanguard line, because as you pointed out during the game, like the reset on the XP for the Vanguard pool, like coming into it a little bit later, meant that IMOK always had like an objective advantage in terms of how effective so many of their abilities were.
And the Phoenix mirror between the two teams has been so even, and like Audible said, it came down to the final hits and just that critical final headshot. It can be what makes all the difference. Kind of a late gambit ban, just to make sure that doesn't get protected from Team Peps, is we'll have to think about what will match well with the Mantis.
All right, last protect here. Vanguard pool yet again. I imagine it's going to be the same for ALTR Esports. Like, honestly, if I'm these teams and it was that close, maybe we did run this one back. Aha. This is the change, though. Getting rid of Baby Bat's Invisible Woman, knowing that that was... Oh, the one-sided Invisible Woman. Okay, we've got to see how this affects the off-angle play for the Guardian Shield. Oh, but that's a great Counter-Strike. A ban on the Vanguard Deadpool. This does at least mean that now there's going to be no ALTR Esports and be like, oh, we got to go catch up on the Vanguard Deadpool. You don't have the option, bro.
Yeah, because the Invisible Woman can be such a good peel strategist to push away any divers, to push away a Doctor Strange trying to Eye of Agamotto you, but namely to keep a shield up in your strategist line so that you can just all be healed at the same time. Also, Invisible Woman can heal so many people at once, while Luna has to more individually, you know, minus the flake. It's a little bit tougher to give love to everyone at once, but Exo has been one of the Luna specialists when it comes to Ignite EMEA, so I don't think they mind doing that either. But yeah, a difference of who's actually going to be playing the Invisible Woman, like you pointed out.
Yeah, this is possibly going to give Whoops even more pocket on the flank. This might turn the tables on how Six and Pink take their respective duels when you got to think about how that Guardian Shield's coming in. The ideal here is that IMLK maybe dives a little bit more aggressively, forces the Invis Woman to use the shield on herself rather than on one of her more deadly allies.
And Pink was the standout with 15 final hits on that first map of Burn into T'Challa. So as long as they keep their distance from this upcoming dive, that is what's going to be important. Team Captain will be leading that, not with like a Daredevil to assist, and not with the with the Z-Cube Magneto bubbles, kind of relieves some of that damage.
Soft dive there from Team Captain did force out the right click here from Six, which is an important thing to need to consider, but it is only on a very short 8-second cooldown, so it's going to be used basically most of the time when Team Captain rolls in. It's similar to the Symbiotic swing, back out yet again, but every single time Captain does this, you are buying some space for the rest of your team to push up.
Keep an eye for these critical freezes too from Baby Bat, especially if you can catch it like after the passive has been popped, or maybe while the Venom is mid-grapple. That could be a key moment to remove that Venom and to get the ball rolling for either team.
Interesting that IMOK actually isn't using their cellular corrosion on their engagements here. Maybe trying to feign a soft dive. It's all about the mind games when it comes to these Venoms committing. Exo has to get out, but can't quite do it. Tries to jump into invisibility, but Protoss' tracking is just too great. And our Team Captain has their disengagement complicated a touch, and ALTR Esports are back to spawn.
And you don't want to get too greedy as an Invisible Woman either. It can be really compelling to try and look for a force physics to pull people in if they're overextended, maybe to go for a pull on the Venom so that they can't escape. But you don't want to put yourself in harm's way, because the Mantis eyes in EMEA are no joke when it comes to mechanics. Exo does pay the price.
All right, here comes the Rage of Ultron to try and answer. Oh, that's an overlay of a strategist ultimates, though, from the side of Team Peps. This is a must-win fight right now, as Hatro's going to come in with a second one. Monarch's already fallen down, but the remainder of ALTR Esports are going to have plenty of healing thanks to Hatro with the Rage of Ultron. You can see it right now. There's that pocket coming through onto Team Captain, trying to get away from any solid surfaces where Frankie boxing. Oh, unfortunately, it's all airballs, just like I'm watching Space Stream ranked yet again. Baby Bat coming forward with the Fate of Both Worlds, giving over the damage, which was so much sustainability here, but the last note of this song will be coming from Exo. Is slept, by the way, sedated, hopefully inside of the invisible boundary, as Frankie Boxing is chased on down. Whoops has got their aim hands back.
The Invisible Boundary is such a powerful ultimate for this point in particular. There's no chance you're retaking when you can't even see what's going on. But a great Fate of Both Worlds, as you pointed out, when the Meteor M was about to land on them, and one last hurrah at 0.5 meters, by the way.
Actually, perfect bubble right there coming from Frankie as well. Stops the stun that would have cancelled the portal, and now you can try and exit out of here. Six already fallen down, though, and there's only a couple of players who are even near the cart, so that's going to be a reasonably quick take of first.
I appreciated Team Peps trying to peel for their backline. Like, Z-Cube was starting to walk them down like dogs, and Speaking of getting walked like a dog, Proto is gonna need some help here, and Stranded might, just gonna jump off the map to reset, which now is the upper hand for ALTR Esports to start pressuring that back corner.
Exo, great patience. The iron will to have the last ultimate in that one. Admittedly, Team Peps couldn't layer as well as they would have liked due to that overlay early on between Protoss and Six, but hey, you can buy some space back by having Pink just aim.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Team Captain's doing in a tiny room. Usually you want to take your eye to the sky and take these strats down to the grave. A huge retake play from Team Peps where, like I said, ALTR Esports were trying to take an early fight at the back corner, but unfortunately lost their venom. So all the wind in the sails of ALTR Esports were swept away, and this is an important stabilization time for Team Peps. And again, Pink has been that standout Phoenix, being so far away, allowing Team Peps to equalize 5v5 and to eventually let IMLK take over the fight with a beautiful Feast of the Abyss. IMLK will be on the high ground too, just trying to see if ALTR Esports are going to panic and use cooldowns to address that.
Feast of the Abyss in the back. Can it find the value? Pink is going to try and counter-strike here. Gets rid of all of the overhealth, and goodbye to Monarch's ult. The preset sparks doing their job as Pink, damage boosted, manages to remove one of the strategist ultimates from the calculus, and ALTR Esports are once more stuck in the choke.
So many ults for ALTR Esports to get through the invisible boundary is a big one. Looking how Exo is going to section this. You ideally want to keep the strategist on the outside of it, but goodbye, Exo.
Oh my goodness. Well, if there's one thing Rage of Ultron's very good for, it's for charging Meteor M's, and Pink's good for a couple of shots as well. Oh, the fight planning here from Team Peps is just sublime.
Pink only sees red. What is with this guy? And he's a lot more measured on how forward he's going to be. He kind of overextended at the initial part of point A, but has now found a good balance of staggering out ALTR Esports, who are now at back-to-back fight losses. But look at how Whoops can maybe try to save themselves to this upcoming dive with an end song Inferno, and that's really what they're relying on.
Visible boundary, good to go as well. Could cover the approach of the Ensong Inferno if needed, but you really want to try and combine those. Sometimes you play aggressively for the additional slow that can come through. What is Whoops doing so low over there? And it seems like Pink has had to use the emergency Ensong Inferno. Great bank around. Oh, this is a lot of ultimates from Peps from a fight that seemed basically won already.
Yeah, 6v4 Team Peps. I think just want to have less hesitation in their camp. It's always something you can improve upon, and you have ALTR Esports on the back foot. It's 3 back-to-back fights and less than a minute to go for ALTR Esports, but they're lit up like a Christmas tree right now when it comes to their side of ultimates. But the initiative from Peps has really denied Exo from setting an invisible boundary forward, so it's going to be a Soul Resurgence kickoff probably.
All right, choice of ult here from ALTR Esports. It is going to be Monarch who's moving first, trying to get bot Monarch low enough. Doesn't seem like Whoops managed to get any real value off the back of the Insong Inferno, and now it's time for the counter-strike. Protoss on the other side, a well-charged Meteor M, but look at that, the overhealth on 6 was enough to try and survive it for a while longer. The Mad Cannon's going to get it done. Protoss find themselves corroded by the cellular corrosion of Team Captain. A Feast of the Abyss is going to be a feast for ALTR Esports, but they've used 5 ultimates already to make this one happen, and now they're going to be in overtime with nothing really to their name.
Exactly, and the hardest part of this second point is this upcoming fight. This back corner, so defender-sided. The respawn advantage will be for Team Peps, and it's the Feast of the Abyss, the Ensong Inferno, a lot of good combos, and if anything, they have the tech to try and execute a strategist without the need of any duelist to get involved. But Team Peps got to be worried about how also they overextend, but here's the initiative from Team Captain.
An early pick here would be everything. You're relying on your raw mechanics at this point as IMLK is chasing after Monarch. They're going to be the only player left on cart. Someone else is going to need to tag in over here, and it's going to be Whoops. However, the dark depredations of IMLK are all over them. Someone else is trying to make their way back. Team Captain surrounded by enemies, body blocked in by Protoss, and there's nowhere for the dark protector to turn. Team Peps hold on second.
I liked ALTR Esports trying to take fate in their hands, and they extended past the cart as Team Peps were coming out through the door. But Team Peps, they had trust in each other, and they had the better ultimates. The Feast of the Abyss from IMLK already started to remove some of those strategists, and then you had the Ensong Inferno from Pink to deal with the rest. And like I said, you don't even have to combo those two ultimates. So really good awareness from Team Peps. And so yes, they got surprised by ALTR Esports taking such a fast and early fight, but Team Peps still understood their win conditions and fired back when the ALTR Esports strategists were setting forth to support the fight going on. So almost getting at the end of seconds, not too shabby for ALTR Esports, but it's not incredibly inspirational either. So this is still anyone's game.
It's winnable, but not that winnable.
Ish. Winnable adjacent.
Yeah, winnable adjacent. I like that one. That's a good vibe right there. IMLK actually has had such a standout game here. Like, I think yesterday, not a great day for IMLK, but today we have seen multiple looks, which have been very good, both for Venom and the Vanguard pool. We've seen IMLK absolutely cleaning house in the lobby. 6 final hits already, highest on the team.
Team Peps, they were taken to the distance on that first map, regardless of how it began. ALTR Esports, they will go out kicking and screaming, and it came down to the clutch power of Frankie Boxing to seal the deal on map 1. This series could have been a whole different ball game if it wasn't for that Vanguard. So we'll have to rely on him once again, as Baby Bat's already been dove on, or something was starting to harm the strategist line, and Team Peps will have to move forward still.
Okay, Whoops is here to aim. Doesn't want to exit the tournament already, and that's what's on the line here for ALTR Esports. A loss in this map means that you have to wait till stage 1 to play again. Team Captain just dominated beyond belief, really. The control is all over them. There's nothing you can do.
The CC chain is crazy, and Z-Cube didn't have LOS to maybe give a bubble to save things, and now ALTR Esports just got to get out of dodge. They need a soft reset so they can have all 6, and Team Captain will be able to swing back into the action, but Team Peps have their backs against the wall. No ults to real worry about, but it's the spacing that I worry about.
Yeah, exiting through this choke into a Phoenix is incredibly difficult. Team Captain has already been able to grab the bubble here. A slight overextension potentially from Frankie, but it's not going to be overly punished by the remainder of ALTR Esports. Whoops has already bought out the Ensong Inferno. That's the big advantage. With 6 falling down, maybe you don't need to try and invest with this one. Pink needs to be punished, but manages to survive. It's a great bit of pocketing coming through from Team Peps to get their duelist out of there.
Impressive that ALTR Esports were able to retake with so little space that they had. Huge picks, and now Team Peps have lost initially. Now with half the time bank left, they just got to set up for maybe a full send with all the ultimates they earned through that skirmish. Whether it's the damage boost you want to give to Pink, he is delivered every single time.
6 tries to just soften everybody up. IMLK has the damages, but look, everyone's too fast to catch up to with the Feast of the Abyss, thanks to what was done by the Soul Resurgence. And now it's Pink's turn to bring themselves down onto the backline. Monarch wasn't pre-spark though, and so there's no chain reaction. Baby Bat joins the chorus. A fully charged meter M, even into the wall. It's good enough for Frankie Boxer to try and take down Hutchro, and Monarch can't be saved with the invisible boundary. Everyone going to be aiming over towards Exo now to try and penetrate through that barrier and take down the strategist ultimate, but ALTR Esports don't really have the numbers to try and make this one work. Whoops needs all the pocketing, but it's going to be Team Captain who's taking the damage in the front line, trying to keep this one going. IMLK is going to find themselves grabbed temporarily as Hatro opens up a portal behind, missing out on one strategist. Now the healing is going to be thin on the ground, but the damage is going to come on through from that Doctor Strange. Frankie Boxing potentially going to be isolated. It's a good team up usage to drag in multiple members of Team Peps. This is a quiet lull in the damage for now. IMLK setting up for the next engagement. Team Captain bit off more than they could chew. The absolute zero freezing the blood in the brutal protector's veins, and Pink just rolls forward with aim in his heart and violence in his very soul. Team Peps are going to be able to claim first for sure.
And the past repeats itself. Frankie Boxing is the whole reason Team Peps were able to maintain the fight and not have to reset. Critical picks with the Meteor M, and also just a shot right through the heart of ALTR Esports, who thought they had stabilized behind the Exo invisible boundary. Whether it's the Doctor Strange, the Angela, the Magneto, Frankie Boxing and IMLK are on the same page, while Team Captain and Z-Cube are in completely different chapters. You need to see these Vanguards work together, because Team Captain is not getting the support from his secondary Vanguard consistently.
Z-Cube needs to stand on business here. Maybe bring up the shield. behind the opposing Mango. What a great headshot there from Whoops. Team Captain's finally getting the value in the back that they were looking for, but a trade back onto Baby Back could change everything. ZQ finds the value, continuing to go for that back line, and Whoops' off angle is looking great right now. Exo's going to be able to pocket from over here, and IMLK is going to have so much trouble exiting from this one. Whoops has hit their headshots, and now ALTR Esports can try and do exactly the same that Peps did.
Huge for ALTR Esports to win that fight as cheap as they did. In this economy, you welcome that, because now you have to kill another 2.5 minutes, and ALTR Esports have all the ults to do it. You can just let it rain with a Rage of Ultron, see what you get, and Z-Cube can try and deny any damage that comes out of Team Peps with the Meteor M. It's going to be a tale of the end song Infernal, though, as I like this pathing from Team Peps to try and get your Phoenix on an off angle.
Fully loaded up, Whoops already down. Team Caps are going to try and find Feast of the Abyss value, but that's a great bubble coming through from a Magneto to deny that one. An attempt at a turnaround here as Hatro falls on down to Baby Bat. Her aim is on point today and still has themselves a use of a Fate of Both Worlds to keep the rest of the team sustained. ALTR Esports backing off as the invisible boundary goes down, and Pink is just aiming out of their mind right now. 6 finishes it off. It's going to come down to one last fight.
Invisible boundary, you just had to use it 4v6 to stabilize, and the silver lining is you got the Fate of Both Worlds forced out of Team Peps, so very little in the bank for Team Peps to go, but only one fight to rule them all. 90 seconds for the series win, and ALTR Esports, whoops, has to just step up to the plate, but you need space to be able to operate too.
Oh, Team Captain's going to try and get it. A frenzied arrival into the back. Already is used to Symbiotic Resilience. Needs some support here from the strategist, and indeed will find it. Beta M taken to the sky. Whoops instantly blows up alongside Monarch. Great counterplay here from ALTR Esports, and they're going to look for even more on the back of it. Okay, John accuracy.
Whoops, there it is. ALTR Esports keep their heads above water, but you know, the positive side for Team Peps is that they lost that quickly, so they'll be able to squeeze out one more fight and no portal shenanigans. It's a straight front-to-back war as Team Peps hope to find some different angles and mainly make sure that ALTR Esports won't be looking at their strat line as Pink starts to get active and harass Team Captain away from his climb.
IMLK is for danger now. Going to be 6 opening up with the Rage of Ultron. Combined damage, will it be enough? A good freeze coming through onto Team Captain, but it has taken a bunch of damage out of the Rage of Ultron as Team Captain demanded all that attention. Can't escape though. The strategist are nowhere to be seen. The healing's not there. IMLK can stand in the front line as ALTR Esports desperately look for a hero to try and save their tournament. Hatro's nearly there. 10% away from a Rage of Ultron. Z-Cube standing at the top as Team Captain gets ready to teleport on back. Hatro is so close. The Rage of Ultron needs to be popped almost instantly. Will it save Z-Cube? The healing is so low. Frankie boxing with a nearly fully charged Meteor M, but it goes away, and Captain heads into the back. Can try and mess with the LOS of the strategist ultimates as they get around the screaming ghost. They move in towards the car. IMLK has already taken out Exo. Bark's going to be the next to fall. Protoss is getting it all done with the raw aim of the Mantis. The damage boost is too much. ALTR Esports are scattered to the 4 wins, and Team Peps are going to take it 2-0.
On ALTR Esports' map pick as well. Team Peps with the cleaner dives with the Venom, but also the better punishing power against the counter dives from ALTR Esports. Team Captain just couldn't get in range from any kind of heal, from an invisible woman to a Magneto bubble, and then it was a tale of 2 Phoenix, but only 1 rose from the ashes, and it's Pink with another MVP, and it was a big battle between him and Whoops, and man, Pink was able to edge it out in the end. 35,000 damage or 10 final hits, about a 5k difference against his counterpart of Whoops, but this was still a battle of the century between the two, and ALTR Esports kept it as close as they could.
I mean, IMLK, like, the survivability for IMLK is kind of off the charts here. I'm surprised we didn't see more of the disengages get botched by something like a force physics. Like maybe Exo wasn't on the ball with that one, or the force physics was coming out too early, but either way, IMLK was surviving much longer than they had any right to, taking such audacious dives.
Yeah, if I have like almost 10 deaths on a Vanguard and my secondary Vanguard has like 4, I'm pissed.